infections or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi.
Disney celebrates America. The pursuit of happiness. The event special premieres tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen, thanks for being here. We want you all to have a great day. Everyone, take a little time to enjoy the view and do not get down. We will take care of this as a people. We'll be right back. No, we won't. We'll be gone.
Being raped is one of the worst fears that women have. So we take precautions to avoid dangerous situations. Graham Plattner blamed women for getting raped because he said we get effed up drunk. Mr. Plattner blamed the rapists, not the women. And now we learn Plattner used an app that's called a predator's paradise for child exploitation. Graham Plattner is disgusting, gross, and unfit for the Senate. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At ABC7 and Fox 22 News, it's our job to share breaking news and politics, as well as stories from around Maine that will restore your hope in humanity. These feel-good features highlight what nonprofits, small businesses, and people just like you and I are doing to make a difference in the community. So join us weekdays for all the latest news and feel-good features that will make you smile. Right here on ABC7 and Fox 22.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC7 News at Noon.
Crews battled a fire at a Hamden trailer park last night. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. A Waterville man was arrested for allegedly kidnapping a 4-year-old child. And Maine rededicated a memorial to give families a place to remember loved ones who have been murdered. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey, Susan, happy Monday afternoon. The big focus this week will be the heat. Look at this, already extreme heat watches posted until 8 p.m. as we head towards your Friday. These will kick in later on this week for high heat index values that could get up to around 110 degrees at times. And I wouldn't be surprised to see these expanded to the east in some capacity. We have high heat dangers that will be expected later on. Temperatures will be increasing coming up. But for now, we are rather clear. We'll be seeing a lot of sunshine today with high pressure that will be in dominant control, but the pattern will be changing as we watch a warm front that will be approaching, bringing with opportunities for some rain showers and even some thunderstorms at times. But for now, again, not a whole lot going on across parts of the Northeast. There's some activity across parts of the UP of Michigan, and we'll be watching for some activity that will be moving into our backyard coming up soon. So a mostly sunny sky for us today. You can see some clouds moving in tonight, and then we'll watch for some more activity for us as we head towards tomorrow with a chance for some rain showers and even some thunderstorms. So here's a look at things for today. Again, we'll be under a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures reaching for the upper 80s today before we start to cool off later on, eventually upper 70s by around 7 p.m. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Firefighters from several departments had their hands full with a bad fire last night in Hamden. They were called to a mobile home park on Main Road North where a trailer had burst into flames. This video was sent to us from a fire at Hamden Mobile Estates. The video was reportedly taken between 9 and 9:30 last night. A woman who lives there tells us she was in the process of cooking pork chops when the fire broke out. Fire crews from Hamden and neighboring towns worked quickly to make sure everyone made it out safely and began dumping water on the raging fire. There are no reports of injuries, and we're told that some family pets also made it out. There's also word that the Red Cross was called in to help residents with their immediate needs. We'll have more information as that investigation continues today. Maine Warden Service divers recovered the body of a Lewiston teen who slipped and fell into the Androscoggin River while fishing on Friday. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says 18-year-old Shlo Revere of Lewiston was fishing with friends near the Gulf Island Dam on the Androscoggin River in Switzerland Island around 7:30 Friday night. That's when he fell into the water after slipping on a rock while trying to untangle a fishing lure from a tree branch. The search for him began that night, and the department notified media Saturday afternoon that his body was recovered from the Androscoggin River by Warden Service divers. A Waterville man was arrested Saturday for allegedly kidnapping a 4-year-old child. According to the Fairfield Police Department, Officer Casey Dugas, police were dispatched to Main Street in Fairfield for a report of a missing 4-year-old. Officer Dugas says information was then developed that led them to a residence in Waterville, where they later found the child. Authorities then arrested 37-year-old Brandon Fair of Waterville, a man police say is not related to the child, but someone at that residence does know him. Fair was transported to the Somerset County Jail, where he's charged with kidnapping and criminal restraint. His bail is set at $500,000 cash. Authorities anticipate more charges as the investigation continues. The child was transported to a local hospital out of precaution. The Bangor Police Department says a suspicious package was found downtown near the route of Saturday's Pride Parade. That package found in the morning was cleared by the bomb squad, and the incident was resolved a few hours after its discovery. Bangor police closed downtown intersections during the investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Kurecki, whose email can be found on our website. Maine rededicated a memorial to give families a place to remember loved ones. Allison LaPierre reports from the Maine Murder Victims Memorial.
Remembering those whose lives were taken from them.
It's an honor to stand with you today as we remember and pay tribute to those whose lives were taken through the actions of another.
Today, families, friends, and supporters gathered at the Holy Family Cemetery in Augusta as names were added to the Maine Murder Victims Memorial Monument.
Today we gather to share how the Maine Murder Victims Memorial stands as a lasting tribute to those taken from us.
During the 13th annual rededication ceremony, surviving family members, friends, and supporters of victims laid down roses to honor the lives who were taken. The Maine chapter of Parents of Murdered Children hosts a ceremony on the last Sunday of June every year to rededicate the monument and serve as a lasting tribute to victims of homicide across the state.
Names that are being added, their families know that we're with them. We aren't going to forget their loved ones.
This year, 18 names were added to the memorial.
For some members of Parents of Murdered Children, this monument serves as like a grave site they can go and reflect and think about their loved ones.
Group leaders say this memorial gives families and loved ones a chance to remember those who they have lost, but also connect with others who are grieving.
That we don't want anyone else to join our group, but when they have to, we will accept them and we try to help guide them.
One of Central Maine's largest Pride festivals was held on Saturday. Hundreds of people made their way to downtown Bangor for the annual Pride Parade and festivities. This year's festivities featured numerous entertainers, vendors, organizations, and community members. The parade route started on Main Street and wove its way through the Queen City until settling at the Bangor waterfront. The event has been celebrated in Bangor for over 3 decades. Organizers say this year's theme was Color Our World with Pride. Community members gathered in downtown Bangor yesterday to remember the life and death of Charlie Howard, a Bangor man who was killed in the 1980s for being openly gay. Our Grace Blanchard has this story.
It's a constant recognition that something impactful happened in this place.
It's been more than 4 decades since the death of Charlie Howard, but for some Bangor residents, it feels like yesterday.
It's just the memories, it's mixed emotions. There's the sadness, the anger, but also the love and the opportunity to love and be loved as who you are.
On July 7, 1984, Howard was walking down State Street with his partner when 3 teenagers attacked him. The 3 boys threw Howard over the State Street Bridge into the Conduskeg Stream. As a result, he drowned. Charlie Howard was 23 years old. His death is credited by many as launching the gay rights movement in Bangor.
The folks we consider in the Pride community today have been resilient throughout history.
Just recently, a Pride mural near the Charlie Howard Memorial was defaced, repainted, and then vandalized again, leading one local to take her anger and turn it into Pride t-shirts.
My thought was, so what can I do that just says that is not the way that everybody is? And so I made some art.
Groups like Bangor Pride continue to organize a vigil near his memorial to remember Charlie and the lasting impact of his death.
The more we can unify all of these voices together to remember history and remember where we've come from and how far we still have to go, the better.
For Jim Beckett and his husband, the first gay men to be married in the Queen City in 2012 after it was legalized, the vigil sparked mixed emotions.
But more than once, I could have ended up like Charlie Howard, and for equally silly, inane reasons.
I really hope that people take away that we're all human, we're all here for one another in this limited time on this planet, so we should all just love and care for each other.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, 5 people were killed in a shooting at a youth welfare facility in Germany. We'll be right back.
Commercial vehicles can be dangerous, and they usually carry big insurance policies. So whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or a big rig like this, we know commercial vehicle accidents, and we know how to get you the big money you may deserve. If any commercial vehicle hurts you, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you. Call 222-2222.
30 years living the Washington, D.C. lifestyle changes people. Getting rich from insider trading should be illegal. But Susan Collins doesn't think so. Susan Collins is trying to keep it so senators can get rich playing the stock market. They're making millions of dollars, while we can't even afford groceries and gas. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop the congressional stock trading.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
there's no reason to be overwhelmed. No. We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
For the first time ever on live television, the Stonington Lobster Boat Races are coming to ABC 7. Fast work boats, big horsepower, and Downey's pride on full display. Watch Maine's lobster fishermen put their boats to the task in one of the state's most exciting summer traditions. Don't miss the live debut of the Stonington Lobster Boat Races. Sunday, July 12th from 11:30 to 2. The Stonington Lobster Boat Races, live on ABC 7.
Is your Maine issued license or ID expiring soon? Good news. You may be able to skip the trip to the BMV and renew it online, including if your license or state ID is Real ID compliant. Visit maine.gov/SOS/BMV today to find out if you're eligible to renew online. Brought to you by this station, the Maine Association of Broadcasters, and the Office of the Secretary of State.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
After a weekend of clashes in the Middle East, U.S. and Iranian negotiators will meet tomorrow in Qatar to work out issues of the Strait of Hormuz and try to get peace talks back on track. Rebecca Castor has more.
Traffic is slowly moving again in the Strait of Hormuz after Iran attacked several commercial ships and U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain over the weekend. The U.S. responded, striking several Iranian targets, but now it appears both sides are returning to the negotiating table.
Iran has requested a meeting this week, so Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be flying to Doha for high-level meetings.
President Trump says those talks will begin Tuesday, but a senior Iranian negotiator denies meetings are scheduled. Following the weekend flare-up, the president said the U.S. could finish the war militarily if diplomatic efforts fail, warning Tehran, if that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist.
I think we're doing the right thing. We're going to give them a chance, and if not, we're going to have to continue to bomb them.
In the meantime, oil and gas prices are getting closer to pre-war levels. AAA says regular gas is down to $3.86 a gallon.
Iran's attempt to hold the world hostage and their economies hostage are completely failing.
President Trump is also keeping a close eye on gas prices and says any price gouging should be reported. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
The U.S. Supreme Court rejected a push by President Trump to toss out a guilty verdict in the E. Jean Carroll sexual abuse case. The High Court declined to take up the case in a brief, unexplained order on Monday. A jury found Trump guilty of sexually abusing Carroll at a New York City department store in the mid-1990s. It awarded her $5 million. The writer and former TV talk show host was also awarded an additional $83.3 million after a second defamation trial. Trump's legal team reacted to the decision, saying in part that the American people stand with President Trump as they demand an immediate end to all of the witch hunts, including the Democrat-funded travesty of the Carroll hoaxes. President Trump will keep winning against liberal lawfare as he continues to focus on his mission to make America great again, end quote. The death toll keeps climbing in Venezuela after those two devastating earthquakes hit last week. Now more from the international community is pouring into the region. Correspondent Nate Foy has more.
This morning, time is running out for any survivors buried underneath rubble in Venezuela. 140 search dogs from 21 countries working night and day to find those trapped. New video shows a mother and her 18-day-old newborn pulled from underneath what remained of their apartment building in La Guaira after being trapped for 32 hours, both now in stable condition. The State Department posting this video of American crews helping to pull another mother and her 9-month-old baby to safety, both somehow suffering only minor injuries. And yesterday, 4 days after those pair of powerful earthquakes struck, a father and son pulled from the rubble alive. But the death toll is rising, with nearly 1,500 people now confirmed dead and hundreds of aftershocks jolting the region. An estimated 58,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed, older buildings and substandard construction leaving this region especially vulnerable. Rescue workers from dozens of countries have been deployed to help. Authorities are now limiting access to the hardest hit areas, saying crowds of volunteers are in some cases getting in the way of the skilled rescue teams trying to reach those still trapped.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
5 people were killed in a shooting at a youth welfare facility in Germany. 2 people have been arrested. That includes the suspected shooter. Police say some people were injured in the incident, but did not specify how many were hurt. The shooting taking place in northern town of Stade had the more restrictive gun laws than the U.S., but mass shootings still happen, even though they are rare. Police say they are working to determine a motive for the shooting and that there is no danger to the public. It's going to be a scorcher as Americans get ready to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. July 4th is just around the corner, and dangerous heat is set to hit central and eastern parts of the U.S. Weather experts say a heat dome is driving the heat wave, sending temperatures soaring into the 90s and low 100s. That, coupled with high humidity, is a dangerous mix. The National Weather Service said Thursday and Friday could see, quote, the possibility of all-time record highs in some places. It warns the extreme heat could be life-threatening for the elderly and those with respiratory issues. Health experts advise everyone to stay indoors, use air conditioning, hydrate, and check on their neighbors during the heat wave. After the break, communities statewide continue to step up and support those that have been impacted by the Robbins lumber mill fire and explosion. We've got details when we return.
He jumped on the ladder and climbed up about 3 steps and just hung there. The crew chief went down the ladder, grabbed him by the rucksack and held him until we got off to a LZ where we could drop him off. Amazing courage.
We learned then what the war is all about. Can you help us over here? We have some severely wounded just coming in. I guess that was a part we knew we was at war because they were terribly wounded.
I got where I wouldn't even run to the bunker. Wasn't any sense in doing anything. If you were working and you had a patient on the table, you pulled the patient off the table, put him on the floor, and put yourself on top of the patient.
Everything went crazy. The engines were screaming, and stuff was flying around in the cabin, and it was really something. Then we hit the ground,
The tires were screeching. You could feel the plane doing one of those, you know, and it finally came to a stop. Come to find out, they missed the airport.
We went down once, one turned too quick, and we took 650 caliber rounds through the bottom of the aircraft. Inside the aircraft is covered with blood. Instruments were all going red lights.
As far as I'm concerned, I think it's the most important thing I've ever done in my life.
2/3 of the way down the ladder, the blast went off, and he was killed outright.
When you first get there, you kind of resign yourself that you might not go home.
I think I saw courage every single day, and everything blew my mind. I saw it every single day, what men and women did over there. People have no clue, absolutely have no clue of what folks did and the sacrifices they made.
As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, we celebrate freedom and honor the men and women who have served to protect it. Our heroes, their own words. Friday, July 3rd at 7 p.m. on ABC 7.
Maine's rural hospitals are struggling, but Senator Susan Collins came to the rescue, delivering critical federal funding for upgraded facilities and life-saving diagnostic equipment. Susan Collins does her job, and our hospitals benefited. Call and thank her for delivering for Maine.
If you've been hurt, we can take your case for free, and you don't owe us a penny unless we win. A free call and a free consultation could set you free from your car accident problems. I'm your go-to guy.
Call 222-2222.
Isn't it interesting that what we eat is so often tied into what season it is or what the weather's like? And now, as we're just a few days into the official start of summer, I thought we should make something that reflects the brightness of the season. We start by coating a few boneless, skinless chicken breasts in some seasoned flour and sauteing them in a combo of butter and olive oil till they're golden. Once they are, we take them out of the pan and add a little more butter, along with some canned artichoke hearts, a splash of white wine, or you could use chicken broth, the juice of a lemon, and a few capers. After a few minutes, we add the chicken back in, cover it, and let it simmer until the chicken is cooked through. You see, the entire thing is done in less than 30 minutes. And talk about easy. When we take the cover off, the whole house is filled with the lemony freshness of summer. Maybe serve this with some quick cooking rice and a veggie, and dinner is done. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for what we call prize-winning lemon chicken. Cause every time you serve it, it's like you just won an award for the best dinner ever. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a prize-worthy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Very nice.
It's been more than a month since the fire and explosion at the Robbins Lumber Mill in Searsmont. Many people are still recovering. Communities statewide continue to step up to support those that have been impacted. Sunday, the town of Belmont held a benefit dinner and silent auction to benefit Belmont firefighter Lieutenant Catherine Page and Searsmont Assistant Fire Chief Wayne Woodbury. Woodbury died on June 14th from injuries he sustained battling the Searsmont fire. A funeral service was held for him in Belfast last week. Firefighter Page sustained severe burns from the explosion and has been receiving treatment at Maine Medical Center in Portland since the fire on May 15th. According to Belmont Fire Chief Ron Hartford, Woodbury was a longtime resident of Belmont and also donated the land that the fire station is sitting on.
He was the chief here in Belmont for a couple of years, a long time ago. Kind of got down and moved on to Searsmont, and he was been around a long time. I mean, 60 years between Belmont and Searsmont Fire Department. So it was very right that we do it for both of them.
The silent auction featured more than 100 items. The money raised from the event will go toward firefighter Page's medical expenses and to the estate of Wayne Woodbury. According to Chief Hartford, they are hopeful to see firefighter Page return home within the next couple of weeks. Yesterday marked the celebration of a well-known lumberjack. June 28th is National Paul Bunyan Day, described as a giant lumberjack of unusual skill. Paul Bunyan is one of the most famous North American folklore heroes. The lumberjack has become a staple of American culture and a symbol of the nation's logging history. While several states claim to be the birthplace of Paul Bunyan, according to his record of a birth that's placed and displayed at the Bangor City Hall, Paul Bunyan was born in the Queen City February 12, 1834. The 31-foot statue of Paul Bunyan on Main Street remains one of Bangor's biggest attractions. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
As a doctor in rural Maine, we're already seeing the impact. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Billions of dollars that we could use here in Maine. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Some places don't just give you a vacation, they help you slow down. Welcome to Micmac Farm, where peaceful mornings meet the natural beauty of down east Maine. Relax along the Machias River, watch seals play in the water, and make yourself at home while you explore miles of rugged coastline, scenic trails, and beautiful preserves throughout the area. With countless hiking destinations just minutes away, Micmac Farm is the perfect place to rest, recharge, and discover. Micmac Farm. Stay close to nature. Stay close to Maine. Call 255-3008 and plan your stay today.
Imagine stepping onto your brand new deck, enjoying all the benefits of your expanded outdoor living space. Hammond Lumber Company can help turn that vision into reality. Visit any of Hammond's expansive showrooms and explore a world of possibilities. The timeless beauty of wood, the resilience of composite, or affordable, durable PVC. Railing options from traditional wood to sleek aluminum and contemporary cable railing. On-site consultation and delivery are available. Get started on your new deck when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Welcome back. Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. Look at the advisories that are up. We have an extreme heat watch that's up until Friday at around 8 p.m. Further off towards the south and west, high heat index values or feels like temperatures are forecast that could reach up to around 105 to 110 degrees at times. So of course, high dew points and high air temperatures are expected to cause that. So of course, we'll be expecting more advisories to get issued as we do proceed forward through the week. But in the meantime, though, I mean, some of you will be looking for ways to cool off, and maybe the ocean might be one of those. Be careful with the drastic difference. We still have buoys reporting low 60s for those water temperatures and a little bit cooler further off towards the north and east. So from high heat to maybe hyperthermia, we definitely want to be careful with that as well. So as we try to beat the heat, try not to beat it too much with regards to the water temperatures. But in the meantime, we have lots of sunshine on land today, so definitely a nice day to get outside. As always, definitely make sure to keep the water handy too, as high pressure is in dominant control today. That warm front is going to be lifting in our direction eventually, and it's definitely going to help to really push in some heat coming up later on this week. So mostly sunny today, and then later on tonight we'll have some clouds pushing in. That's that line where the warm front is, and that's going to help to really get some showers and even some thunderstorms going. You notice that it starts to get going through Tuesday, especially in the eastern parts of the state. Look at this, though, further off towards the west. That will start to push in Tuesday night into Wednesday. That's the edge of that warm front as well, and that's what's really going to help to push in that heat later on this week too. And man, the dew points really increase. That's what we're really going to have to watch. Late Tuesday into Wednesday, man, look at this right here. Mid-70s, maybe even higher for dew points coming up as we head towards your Wednesday, and then still staying elevated and beyond. Upper 80s today, mostly sunny, north wind at around 5 miles per hour. By tonight, upper 50s, partly cloudy southwest breeze at about 5 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a few thunderstorms, upper 80s for the high, and a southwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Wednesday. More showers and thunderstorms, highs in the mid-80s. Partly cloudy Thursday, look at that high, mid-90s for the high. And then Friday, more showers and thunderstorms, upper 80s for that high temperature.
Thank you, Devin. 2 Maine high schoolers were officially crowned world champion fishermen over the weekend. Nolan Savage from Bangor High School and Jack Nass from Waterville finished in first place in the 17th annual High School Fishing World Finals. There are 3 fish limits scaled in at 12:10. The competition was held at Lake Cumberland in Russell Springs, Kentucky. And Fort Worth Zoo shows a baby elephant appearing to enjoy a sprinkler. The zoo says the elephant, named Sam Houston, is still learning to use the more than 40,000 muscles in his trunk. Sam is just 2.5 months old. And who doesn't love a sprinkler? That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great weekend.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos?
Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million.
If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos.
We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The following is a paid presentation for the H2O X5 steam cleaning